All right, I got asked by a viewer to do a layout tour. So today we're going to do our layout tour. This is the original table. It is a 3 foot by 5 foot. Started off as an oval with just this one little separate turnout section for us. And it kind of now is the auxiliary table. We use it as the extended loop off the other table. We put a custom fence on the end because we found out very early on trains will like to go flying off the rails when they're going fast, and the fence saved a couple of them from very, very bad fates. Old Lionel transformer in the back that just runs my lights. We power this table and the bottom level of the other table with the Lionel KW. On the end of the table, we added some storage because what started as a small hobby has turned into a rather large hobby, and I needed more places to put trains. So my son's 248 set, my daughter's 248 set, and the 600 and 601 early Lionel that we have. We've got this wonderful gateman. He runs off the track, but we also put a momentary switch on so that you can push it and he comes out and adds some original railroad spikes because, well, they're just cool. We've got 4 places to park a train. So this one's isolated. It runs off this Marks switch. So red light, it's not moving. Green light, train comes to life. Siding 1 has got a red light in the top. When you hit the switch to toggle the red light comes on. Green right now doesn't have a locomotive on it. It's just a Bucyrus crane car, but the green side lights up. That way we can keep it separate. And then in the back, there's this 253. Same thing, it runs off a toggle switch, but when you hit the toggle, the 253 comes to life. We've got a Marks station in the back. When we hit the switch, all the lights come on. So a couple of Marks light poles that I restored and put all new wiring and bulbs in. I've got a old fire tower that we put a Marks searchlight as its front door light and then a green light inside. In the back is a little tin house that I found at a craft store after Christmas. You're supposed to put a candle inside. I thought it was the right scale and looked kind of cool. The Marks station comes with a whistle. So it runs on a momentary switch. Up front, I've got another one of these little tin houses that I found at a craft store. Again, Christmas time, it's supposed to have a candle inside, but it's the right scale and it looked like an old saloon. So we put red lights in it to make it look cool. All of the tracks are the old tubular style. All of the switches are these old Lionel hump early switches. All of them have external power. I went back and added a power tap to all of them so that you don't have to have the track power on. You can find number 5, go to the number 5 switch, and even with the track off, I've still got power to manually switch. And then an old Marks crossing bell. Old table's connected to the new table by 2 bridges. They're matching. They're made out of cherry and maple with a plywood top. Above them is my figure 8 bridge. The figure 8 was the next big addition we did after we added the second table. So we've got the Lionel, the bigger, not the little 027, but the big O gauge track that comes in, runs across the bridge. We've got one of these cool Marks high-speed trains. The Marks are controlled off these little copper tabs on the track. When the wheels hit them, it activates the lights, so when it goes over, it's looking like the lights are flashing. And that comes across and does its other end over here. So right now we've got a little Marks Commodore Vanderbilt set on it. We added the 54-inch loop later because I needed something with a bigger radius than the radius I was running at the bottom of the table to accommodate some of the bigger motors. So it is suspended about 18 inches off the table. And what's really cool is I left this big opening that when I need to duck through, I can duck through. What's nice is because I left this big opening and this big thick hunk of maple, I can duck underneath and put everything on the tracks that I need to put on the tracks. This table was the second edition. It's a 4-foot by 8-foot plywood topped table, complete with a little HO loop that runs underneath. Because when I was a kid, I had an HO table, and I've still got the trains, and we didn't have anywhere to run them, so it seemed like a cool way to use it. This whole layout's powered by a Lionel ZW. Runs 4 trains at the same time. This one's wired to run 3 of my tracks, and the KW on the other table runs the other 2. So on this table, we've got our little marks tower. Again, in the center, I can park 3 trains. We've got 3 dead ends. And just like on the other side, everything runs off of toggle switches. So this little 152 that's down here, we hit the toggle switch. He comes on, goes down the tracks. And then, just like I did on the other side, everything runs off of a toggle. When you hit the green side, the green light lights up, train runs, hit it to the red side lights up, comes back. Just like the other table, everything is lit. So we hit our toggle switch, all of our lights come on. So I've got some old Marks searchlight towers in the back, a Lionel rotary beacon. I've got another turnout down here. I found this really cool Marks tin bridge. I use it as a park track, so it's got my 226 on it right now. You just hit the toggle switch and again it comes on. We've got our little cattle station in the back, a Marks semaphore in the back. This really cool metal building I found, same thing. This was one at like a craft store after Christmas, but I thought it'd be cool and it's the right scale. To me, it always looked like a big like mill, industrial. In the back, we've got a little water wheel. This really neat little old station I found. Somebody had repainted it, but the light comes on when there's power on the tracks. I've got my little crossing signal. Again, crossing signal I did on a switch. Kids could come down and push it and it would light up. We've got another Marks crossing bell in the back. What's cool about the whole thing, this massive thing, is when you hit the lights, everything's all pretty and bright and lit up. Same thing on this side. All whites and greens and reds. And then around the top, I needed a 6-foot diameter track so that I could run a 752. So we ran one big wooden beam from one side of the room to the other. And that served as my support to run this 6-foot around the top, complete with a wiring all the way around the edge, like little rail, so that nothing could ever fall from 7 feet in the air. So when this is on and everything's running, we can run 5 different trains with lots of different options. Our lights back on. The end of the 4-foot table, I put more shelving in just so that I can have more places to put the trains. So some of the ones you've seen in the videos. And then this started as one shelf in the middle and has now evolved into 3 complete shelves, floor to ceiling trains, including a couple projects we're going to get to later. This little Ives red with a gold base is going to be our next custom locomotive. And then after that, I got a shell for $16.94. We're going to build a custom base for that. So let's put all 5 in motion and show you the layout. All right, everything in motion. So 256. Mark's doing the figure 8. Vanderbilt pulling freight. 736 pulling passengers. And up around the top, our 784 Hudson pulling the Blue Comet train. And our HF.